Madison Solid Rock 94.1 JJO. Welcome to another episode of Discover New Music here on JJO, and super excited about my next guest who has a brand new album. Him and his fellas got a brand new album dropping November 18th, 8th studio album, Divisive. Of course, the legendary David Draiman from Disturbed. David, how are you?
Good to be here, brother. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. David still feels a little informal for me. I feel like Mr. Draiman, sir. I mean, is David okay? Is that fine?
David's totally fine, dude.
Good. I like that. I feel like we're on that next level now. Well, hey, let's dig right into it because everyone is waiting with bated breath. The 8th studio album, first in 4 years. And just kind of doing my research for this, I saw that you've mentioned that it's the band getting back to the meat and potatoes of their sound and looking back at The Sickness or 10,000 Fists.
Right.
Was that a conscious decision by the band? Did you guys sit down and be like, hey, let's go back to that sound? Or was it more of maybe the band coming full circle, 25 odd years later, maybe finding that old sound again?
No, it was the former, not the latter. It was definitely a conscious decision. Very early on in the process, Danny and I were talking, and he asked me what I thought the direction should be, stylistically, and I said, absolutely, we should go back to the heavy stuff. We've just been through 2.5 years of being terrorized by a virus, and everybody's affected by it. Everybody needs to vent and get out their frustrations and feel empowered again, have an escape. So let's give it to them. Let's give them what they want. And so he was only too eager to go in that direction. And we had an amazing time doing it. I got to say, it was just a really fun record to make.
So going back to that sound, did you kind of feel young again? Did you get that feeling maybe when you were making The Sickness or 10,000 Fists? Did that kind of old feeling come back in making this album?
It definitely felt old. Realizing, oh my God, what am I thinking? Still trying to hit this kind of stuff at this age. But no, it was definitely vibe-wise there. And Danny was in as prolific of a songwriting mode as I've ever seen him. It was just pouring out of him, like the dam had overflowed. So it was really, really cool to be able to just have this steady thing going of, okay, today we knocked this one out. It's great. Next day, great. Everything was increasing the level of positivity we were feeling.
I love it. Well, we cannot wait to hear. We've already gotten a little taste. Second single, Unstoppable, has been out, so that's 2 now. Already had 1 go to #1, and I'm sure it's not the last we'll see on the new album, Divisive. November 18th is when it drops. Do you maybe have a favorite track on the album, one that really speaks to you?
More so than usual on this record, the songs are like children to me, and I can't pick a favorite. I will say that there are ones that I gravitate towards. I love the title track. I love Divisive in and of itself. When Danny first sent me the riff idea, I was playing it in my car, and it was, I was snapping my own neck off. I mean, head bobbing to the thing and just loving it, and came up with the melody for it then and there, like the first time I started listening to it in the car. And so that experiences like that make the creation of certain songs a little bit more exciting and more memorable in your head, I guess you could say. I love Bad Man on this record. It's just in your face and bludgeoning, and I love Hey You. I love so many of the songs on this record. I mean, they each have their own little spot, but in particular, I love the duet that we got to do with Ann Wilson. That's one of my favorite songs we've ever written, and I'm in love with that song.
I'm glad I'm glad you brought that up there. And for people who don't know or haven't heard, maybe, and this will be discussed more, I'm sure, in the upcoming weeks and months after it's released. Ann Wilson, who became a fan of the band after hearing your amazing cover of The Sound of Silence, wanted to work with you guys. And so you have her on this record. I mean, that's got to be an experience to have someone
Amazing.
as legendary as her from Heart be on a Disturbed album.
You know, we've never had anyone guest on any Disturbed record before, and it's a hell of a way to start a new tradition. You know, with only one of the best voices of all time, rock, female or otherwise.
Yeah.
She's crazy good, and was so easy to work with, and such a pleasure. And it was such a pinch me moment, really, really, truly was, because I'm a massive fan of her work. And to be able to sing along with her and craft harmonies together and show her other vocal ideas I had, and you know, surreal doesn't quite cover just how cool the experience was. It really blew me away. I mean, she I think doesn't get as much as I think she deserves, as much as I know she already is respected by everyone. I think that this hopefully will continue to show people just how truly amazing she is.
I love it. And I don't think, too, in our lifetime we ever thought we would say Disturbed with Ann Wilson in there, but that's such a cool thing to have on this brand new album from Disturbed. Great way to bring back that 8th album with the first one we've seen in a while. So would you say maybe you had a few little butterflies in there when Ann first came in and you were getting ready to go? Was that kind of there?
Oh, for sure. Like must maintain cool face, must maintain cool face, you know. But I'm grinning ear to ear, like, you know, it very, very, it's a very incredible journey, that this blessing that we've been given of living life as the guys in Disturbed, as it's gone on. It never gets boring in any real way. It really doesn't, because there's always something new and really, really, really cool ahead of us. So yeah.
I love it, man. Well, so cool. And we can't wait to hear more from that. Again, Divisive drops November 18th, 8th studio album from Disturbed, which is such a feat there. And this album, you guys had Drew Falk produce it. And this is your first time working with Drew. And he's done stuff with Lil Wayne all the way to Motionless in White and everything in between. First time working with him, how did that kind of maybe pull the sound, and where do we see that shape in with Drew?
Can't recommend him highly enough. He's brilliant. Super easy to work with, and achieves some of my favorite tones we've had on any of our records. I mean, I love his the mixes he did. I love the separation we have on the record. The whole, you feel those kick drums when they come through, yeah, and you get all of them. So he's very, very good at what he does, and he's got a great head for music. So it was a pleasure working with him. Danny actually sought him out to work with him based on some of the other bands that he's worked with, and me, I was open to working with anybody. I was just dying to work. I just wanted to get back on the horse. Danny spit out any number of names, and Drew was one of them. I'm like, whoever, it doesn't matter. Let's go. And I love working with all kinds of people, because everybody brings something different to the table, you know, and it's always welcome. So, but Drew in particular, like I said, I'm looking forward to working with him again in the future. I think we're going to continue to do some great things together.
I love it. You know, and mentioning Dan, obviously you two have been hoofing it now since 1996, I believe, is when you joined the band. That trust there, that relationship there, and even kind of joking there, hey, pick whoever. That trust there, that really kind of comes through in the album and what you guys are putting together, just that cohesiveness that of all these years put there.
Well, I just know him. And I know that when him and I and Mikey, you know, when we get into a room together, that we're gonna make magic. I think I can count on one hand the number of days where we haven't had progress when we enter into someplace creatively, you know, before we come back out. It may not always be the best, but it's something good.
Yeah.
It's sometimes it's something great. So, but it's always productive, and and those moments when it's beyond that, when you have those moments like some of the tracks on this record, most of the tracks on this record, it makes for a good time for everybody.
I love it. I got goosebumps right now. I cannot wait to hear the rest of this record. I'm sure you're excited to get it out, everyone. Divisive, again, November 18th from Disturbed. Just looking forward to it. And you mentioned getting back on that horse, getting out there. We're going to see you on tours and everything like that. I know you guys played your first show. It was in September of 2021. I believe it was Louder Than Life. And that was your first show you did in nearly 2 years.
Yeah.
What was that like getting back in front? Obviously, we've talked about the craziness in the world. What was that feeling like getting back on there and kind of getting back on?
I mean, just the playing in and of itself was like being able to breathe again.
Yeah.
Yeah. What it took to get there was like, I can't breathe again, I mean, so it was pretty crazy. I mean, when the light at the end of the tunnel started to show itself in this whole pandemic thing, and bands started going out there, it was a very alien environment for us. We couldn't watch other bands at festivals. We were like shuttled around in this little bubble, kept from everybody, and weird, and so the only normalcy we did have during the entire process was the time up on stage where, I remember this is what it was like, so it was literally like being able to draw breath again.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that one little bit of normalcy from the world beforehand. And so even for Disturbed, getting back in it, definitely a change of pace. But we are so excited. Again, I can't say enough. November 18th, Divisive from Disturbed drops. Mark it on your calendars. Go get it, and you are going to be so happy you did. You're going to be jumping for joy, I'm sure, like everyone else out there. Well, we have rapid fire, but I do have one more question, if you don't mind, as we dive into the man that is David Draiman. I saw that the first record you ever bought was Kiss's Destroyer.
Yep.
Favorite track on that album? I got to know. Do you have a favorite on that one?
No.
No,
No. I love the whole record. I love the artwork of the record. I love the vibe that the minute that you put that record on, it puts you into. I just, Kiss was everything for me as a kid. That record, the Alive record, so much. The pageantry, the whole like larger than life, almost comic book character type of quality that these guys had, can't say enough about it.
Can't say enough. Did you ever become part of the Kiss Army? Do you have your Kiss Army ID? Did that ever happen?
I don't have the ID.
No,
I'm not official in that sense, I guess, but
card carrying member, but close enough. In your heart, you are.
Definitely massive fan.
I love it. I saw that, and that cracked me up. So I can share that because Kiss is. That was my first rock show I ever saw. It was Kiss, Ted Nugent, and Skid Row, and it was amazing. First time I got to see Boobies.
That's a nice combination.
It was a great combination. It was great, man. It was great. I was in 8th grade and lost my mind. My dad took my brother and I, and that was it. That was from there on out. That's all I cared about was rock music.
It was the door opening to the world of good.
Right there. All right. Well, before I let you go, we're going to do rapid fire. I do this with everyone. There's no wrong answers. You just go with what your gut says. Go with what you feel. Here we go. Let's start with this. Do you want more bass, guitar, or drums in the monitor?
Usually guitar.
More guitar. Okay. A little too hot or a little too cold?
A little too hot is preferred.
A little too hot. Deep dish or hand tossed? Pizza.
Hand tossed.
And tossed. Okay. You are a Brooklyn guy, so that's probably more your style.
I grew up eating Chicago pizza, but I prefer New York. I do.
Yeah. I think it's in you. That's where you're from. It's in you. So,
I can't deny it.
Fist bump or high five?
I used to be, I would still say fist bump. It just feels better than the high five.
even especially now the world we live in, you do the high five, you're like, ugh, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you know that the pandemic definitely exacerbated that kind of thing, but I don't know. It just seems cooler to me.
Yeah. Well, I think I've missed enough high fives in my life where it's like you lose confidence in your ability to do it. So fist bump, it's easier.
There you go.
I like it. All right, fist bump. Would you rather see Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster?
Probably the Loch Ness Monster.
Have you ever come close to any kind of paranormal or anything like that?
Oh, I don't know. My wife says she has. So
Yeah,
I believe her.
you believe her? All right. Hey, if the wife says it, we're gonna leave it be. So Loch Ness is there. We're gonna go see him. All right, there you go. Thank you for humoring me there, David. Again, everyone, Divisive drops November 18th. Get it, Disturbed. We can't wait. And thank you so much for the time, man. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Good talking to you. Be well.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.